Good morning, Novi, and thanks for tuning in and joining us today. I'm Noah Canales.
And I'm Griffin Hoover.
If you've had Mr. Kowalski as a teacher, you've probably noticed his shoes. This week's spotlight is set on Mr. Kowalski and his extensive sneaker collection.
Sneakers are about an extension of your person, who you are, and expressing yourself.
Mr. Kowalski is a math teacher here at the high school. Has been collecting shoes for many years.
In my collection right now I have over 60 pairs of shoes, and I collect them just because it's something that I've always enjoyed collecting. Started out from when I was a kid and my parents wouldn't buy me shoes, so now that I'm at a stage in my life that I can afford to, it's something that I just choose to spend my money on. I buy most of my shoes online using the Nike Sneakers app because most of my shoes are Nike, so most of those purchases are made through their app, whether it's the Nike store or the Sneakers app. Locally, there's a skate shop in Farmington that's close to my house called Plus, and the owner there hooks me up with shoes occasionally. My favorite shoe by far is the Air Max 90. Original colorway, the infrared. It's just a classic shoe, a classic silhouette. It took the Air Max to the next level, and to me Air Max is like kind of the shoe that defines sneaker culture. When I went to school, sneaker community was something that was really grassroots. It was small. You had to know somebody that knows somebody to get something. And now that everything's online, it's just made that community boom, and it's huge. So sneakers are all over the place. Celebrities are wearing sneakers. People's Instagram accounts are blowing up just because of the shoes that they're wearing. It's really become a pop culture thing to be wearing the latest and greatest sneakers, and that's kind of part of the reason that I latched onto it. It's just, to me, it's another way to express yourself through what you're wearing on your feet.
From the Cat's Eye News, I'm Nick Forkey.
We've seen an increasing presence of Haven in our schools, from senior consent training to Haven and Spark. Renee has more.
Haven is a domestic abuse shelter in Pontiac, Michigan that helps those who have already experienced intimate relationship violence. But Haven also sponsors outreach programs that attempt to stop this violence before it starts. These programs include Redefine and Spark, which we have here at our own school.
Redefine just fits in because it helps younger, I guess, boys like our age, younger and like older, so that we learn, I guess, the best way to approach sexual violence or like a harassment, and what we can do to like prevent it. One of the techniques that we learn to like end violence or like prevent it is when you're like interacting with a friend and they kind of like confide in you that they're about to take action on something, you kind of repeat it to them and you make them sound, I guess, stupid, so they reconsider their plan. And I think that's one of like the safest ways, because that won't like initiate any like violence, like physical violence, and you can only be, I guess, protecting others when you're safe. So I think that's really important.
I believe that Spark is a really important program to implement in our high school, because not only does it build leadership skills for our students, it also helps make them aware about pressing social issues that women and girls are faced with in today's society.
In Spark, one of the activities we did is we did this mannequin boundaries activity, where we were given a feeling or a pose, and there were two people, and person A and person B, and person B wasn't allowed to know what they were supposed to be doing, and person A had to direct them and like move them and like physically, and they weren't allowed to talk. And so we but before we did it, we had to tell them our boundaries, where we want to be touched, if we want to be touched at all, and it helped us become more comfortable with voicing what we're comfortable with.
We've been able to document some changes we've seen in our student, not necessarily culture, but beliefs and views and awareness. Every year, Haven does pre-tests and post-tests and kind of and takes that data to analyze, if our students are more informed about those issues, if they feel that they have more skills when they're presented with either a situation that is challenging or a friend in a situation, and all of them have been able to say that they felt that the programming has really increased their awareness of those issues around sexual harassment, sexual assault, being an advocate for themselves, and how they could help their friends, and skills that would transfer on into their later lives in college or and other things they do.
I'm Renee Boudreau from the Cat's Eye News.
Last week was Wish Week, and our school raised $6,070, which is almost triple of what we raised last year. Hats off to Student Council for coordinating a successful charity drive. All proceeds are going to Make-A-Wish Michigan. That's it for your school news today. Now over to Weston with your sports.
Students and staff went all out in the Staff vs. Seniors basketball game last Friday, with the staff walking all over the seniors with a final score of 50-32. But the real winner is all of us, as we raised money for a good cause. March Madness is well underway, and if somehow your bracket is actually doing okay, quit lying to yourself. UMBC made history last Friday for being the first 16 seed to take down a #1 seed in the March Madness tournament, defeating the Virginia Cavaliers 74-54 and busting brackets nationwide. A little closer to home, both the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans competed this weekend in the Madness as well. Michigan defeated Houston 64-63 thanks to a last-second buzzer beater by freshman Jordan Poole. Michigan plays the Texas A&M Aggies Thursday at 7:37 in the Sweet 16. The Spartans weren't so lucky as they were defeated by the Syracuse Orange 55-53. If there's one thing we can learn from this, seeds don't mean anything. That's all for your sports and brackets. Now back to the desk.
Thanks for watching the Cat's Eye News today. I'm Noah Canales.
And I'm Griffin Hoover. Have a great day, Wildcats.